Welcome, everyone, to Hanging Out with Howie. I have 4 guests this evening, and we're going to talk about how much music does a DJ really need to bring to a wedding. I've seen in different chats how, oh, yeah, I bring 8 terabytes. I got a 4 terabyte and on. But how much do we really need? And my guests tonight are Alex, John, Eric, and Bill. So we'll just go around the room. Welcome, gentlemen. And
Howie.
Hello. All right, so let's start with Alex first. Alex, how much do you typically bring to a wedding?
In my collection, I think I probably have maybe about 15,000 songs. Sorry, 15,000 songs. And that's dating back from the 1950s through to present day.
Alrighty. John, how about you?
Probably somewhere right along there, probably between 15 and 20 now in digital format. It used to be less when it was vinyl days, but now that things are digital and easier to transport, that's about right.
Alrighty, Eric.
All right, so Howie, I never give a short answer, right? Okay, so. So
sorry, John, it's going to be an hour show.
I promise I'll make it as concise as possible. So, I mean, realistically, I bring a solid state drive with me. This guy has 130,000 songs on it. So really for me, the organization is what is really key. So for the wedding itself, if you're going to do a ceremony, I carry these little guys, solid state, certain select songs that are on these in certain folders. If we're doing video for a wedding as well, which doesn't happen that often, but sometimes we do, I usually carry a couple of these. These are also 1 terabyte drives. So for videos, 50,000 songs. For a wedding itself, about 130,000 songs I have in my arsenal. And then for the ceremony, that's a little bit different, but they're usually about 4,000 songs on that other little drive that I carry.
Wonderful.
So raw numbers.
Okay, Bill.
Well, as many know from my other presentations, I'm still a dual format DJ, so I'm using CDs and digital format. It's possible I'm carrying about 1,200 CDs with me still. That's probably crazy in everybody's mind. But everything that I've got new from, say, Permanently Pool or Ultimex or any other new services like that is all on thumb drives. And like Eric was saying, to keep myself organized, I sort of do the same. I keep a thumb drive, a pair of thumb drives actually, that is all the music that was requested by the clients for the wedding. That's broken down into folders like must plays and so forth. So all total, if I had to put a number on it, I'd say I probably have 150, 200,000 songs with me on any given day. I know it's way too many.
Well, you went right into my second question, which is good. I was going to go with format. So you're still using CDs?
Yes.
Wow. And 150,000 songs.
Well, figuring 1,200 CDs to 20 songs a CD average. And then all of my digital files. Plus, the thing I didn't talk about is I also have a full platinum series and a full knockout series that goes with me to all my events. I'll say, also because some people know, I've had all my CDs stolen twice. Many years ago, the last time was 2001. I've done a wedding with just a platinum series. I also once did a wedding with just the platinum series. I'm sorry, not the platinum series. The original DJ Tools series, discs 1 through 12. And I had to make a DAT tape because this was before burning CDs. I made a DAT tape that was all the special requests for the wedding. And that was after the first time all my stuff had been stolen.
Okay. Well, myself,
Sorry.
I bring, because it's a wedding, I will have a crate with the client's songs that they've requested and have the must plays and the specialty dances and so forth. But I also bring 2 identical laptops. They're both exactly identical in every way, with the same crates, the same Serato thing, everything, just in case. But honestly, I really only have between 30 and 50,000 songs. I think this has been brought up before. I believe about the average is maybe 100 songs you're going to play that night. And it's just been my experience that you may get an odd request, from Uncle Billy Bob that just has to hear the Cuban shuffle or something like that. But it depends for me whether or not I'm going to, do certain requests. And if they have something way out in left field, I just don't feel like I need to bring hundreds of thousands of songs. I want to keep the vibe that the couple has for their vision for their wedding. So I like the fact that most of you are keeping a small library, but I understand if you already have it, that's great. I do keep a backup hard drive in my go bag just in case. But now, let's see, we've got a few here. I know, Eric, you mentioned that sometimes you do video.
Once in a while we do, not so many times for weddings, but that's kind of what we're focusing on today. We've done a few weddings over the years where we do video. That's mostly kind of the college thing that we do. But, and this may be getting into a question you're going to ask us before. I don't keep any music per se. I keep a couple thousand songs on the actual laptop. Everything is on my externals to let the laptop have the power that it needs. But I've changed everything over to solid state drives. When I first changed things over, of course, they're on spinning drives. But now with the solid state drives, they've come down in cost so much that, for $250, I got a terabyte right here.
Right.
It's fast, it's quick, and it's my rotators thank me so much. And I wish these had come out earlier in life.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Bill, I'm sure he's still got the guns from carrying those crates around still.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's probably in the best shape of all of us.
Absolutely.
No.
How about you, John? Do you do any video at all?
No, I'm not set up for video.
Yeah, I don't do video at weddings either. It's just my opinion and my opinion alone that it's distracting. I get it if you're doing a bar or something or an event that needs special things, but
Sure. There's been events that they want a television on a table and it's going to play a loop of photos and things that they've brought, but it's not going to be the center of attention playing music videos on a special day.
Yeah, I'll do that. I do the slideshow thing. That's another upsell. Hey, look, I'll set a table up, put a 55-inch TV there, and you have some special things like, hey, remember the time you broke your leg when you were in 3rd grade, and all that crazy stuff like that. And now, Alex, I noticed on your Twitch you do some video on there. Do you do that at weddings?
I do that at weddings, but it's an upgrade to what I normally do. But the advantage to using videos, I use Virtual DJ as a software, so there's no harm in playing the videos, but without the TV. So you still get the audio, the high audio quality from downloading it from Extendamix or other video sites. But going back to what a couple of Eric and Bill were saying with regards to collection, before I transferred over from MP3 to video DJing, I did have, 150,000, a very large collection, and it easily builds up to a point where you have so much space on the hard drive these days when you're having digital music that you can just keep filling it up and keep filling it up. So when I transferred over, it was like that was my opportunity to start streamlining and going, this is my core stuff. This is what I need for my bookings, be it a club or a wedding gig. And I think nowadays with digital DJing, and you can easily stream, even if it's just to hotspot your phone for 10 minutes for a song, you can do that now. And you don't necessarily need to have this large, as I said, I used to have it, and I think it's more of an old school thing. But I think the newer, the DJs that are coming in are streaming more, and their collection may be smaller because they can go, oh, I haven't got this track. It's all right. Hotspot my phone for 5 minutes, stream the song, switch the phone off, and away I go back to my normal collection that's on the hard drive. So I think times are changing as to the size of collections.
Right. Yeah, it's just my opinion. I like to have as minimal amount as possible. I do not use my external hard drives except for an emergency. Everything is right on the computer. Less to carry, less to set up. That's just my personal preference, and I have it organized from 50s on up, and then different genres and so forth and so on. And of course, what the clients want and what the vibe of that particular wedding is. And sometimes, they'll miss the mark, when I'm doing that consultation with them. Oh yeah, my crowd is into classic rock and you're playing classic rock and nobody's dancing. And hey, wait a minute. I need to go with some, maybe some top 40 or something a little bit different. You throw something against the wall, you got a packed dance floor. It's like sometimes because we've been doing this so long, we know what's best for the client, and I've had that happen to me. Has anybody else had that happen?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have situations almost every time where there's, a misread of the crowd, or, well, this is what we love, so this is what our friends love. People forget that there is I always call it the trained monkey syndrome. There are certain songs people expect to hear at a wedding, and there are certain songs that people don't want to hear at a wedding. And at the same time, I give my clients the opportunity to dictate as much or as little of what does and does not get played as they wish. So in reality, I could show up at some of my weddings with 100 songs because I would have exactly what they want and not, and they've told me don't play anything else. But I'm not going to do that. I'm still going to have everything, I carry with me. And I did realize I kind of exaggerated the number a little bit. I kind of pulled out of my mind the number of songs I have total. What I carry with me between CDs and thumb drives is probably a lot closer to like 50 or 60,000.
All right. Now, what is your opinion? We'll just go around the room. I would really like to hear your opinion because we have people from all over the country. We've got Alex from Cyprus. When you get, Uncle Billy Bob comes up and, the floor is packed and it's like, man, can you put that country song on? It'll pack the dance floor. Come on, the bride, she's my relative. She loves that song. I used to sing it to her when she was little. It's not going to fit. And typically what I'll do is I'll try to steer them. Well, I don't really have that, but how about maybe some country rock or southern rock? Maybe, hey, how about this? And I'll show them, let's say, the Eagles or maybe something like Leonard Skinner or something that would have a high enough BPM to kind of fit in and then get out of quick. And then he feels like he's gotten something. So, Eric, how would you handle that situation?
I got to go first. Okay, so I'm such a softie that a lot of times I end up bowing to them, even though it might not be the right decision. But, if the guy or the girl comes up and they're super sweet to me, I'm going to really try to find a way to steer that direction to kind of get it in. If I see it's not working, then I have to dump it. And I've personally gone out on the dance floor and said, this just isn't going to work. I'm sorry. If they start off with something that, and we've talked to this on other shows, somebody came up and asked for the Battle of New Orleans. And it was the craziest song, right? Fired our guns and the British kept it coming. I'm like, this is never going to work. It's our family song. It's a family song. We'll all do it. God darn it, if they didn't do the locomotion around the room to that song, right?
Oh, wow.
I got to listen to them, and you hope it's going to hit, you know? That one, I was sure it was going to be a complete bomb. I was going to look like a fool. And I'm not immune to saying, hey, guys, I guess that one's your favorite song. Quick backspin, and then hit it with something hard to kind of transition and get people back out there. But, yeah, it's a tough one because, you know, when people are kind to me, it's hard to tell somebody no. And that's just kind of my nature.
Gotcha. How about you, John?
Yeah, if it's really left field, I'll try to sway them in a direction that's similar. But like Eric was saying, you never know what's going to crush it. If just because it didn't come up in the consult, as I say, it's our family song. I'll pull it, I'll hold it, and if I get any kind of lull in the floor and say this is the time to put that one in there, this is when we're going to get this over with, and then we're
great point. Great point. Yeah.
You know, so you just kind of roll with it and just put it in the right place, and you can make it make sense no matter how strange it is.
How would you handle that, Alex?
Well, what both Eric and John said, you do get that one song where you think it's just going to kill the dance floor, but it turns out to be the family song that everybody dances to. But if I do get somebody coming up and asking for a song that I think is going to kill the dance floor, and I've got 80-90% of the wedding going for it on the dance floor, I ask them a simple question: are you going to dance to it? And if they turn around and go, oh no, I just want to listen to it, and I'm like, well, if you just want to sit there and listen to it, how do you, everybody else is going to do the same. It's going to kill my dance floor. But I say to them, look, if you're going to dance to it, I think it's going to, it's going to kill it. But if you're going to dance to it, I'll play it as long as you're dancing to it. As soon as you leave the dance floor, I'll kill the song and we'll go on. And I actually had an 85-year-old grandma at a wedding ask for Ace of Spades. And I said, it's too heavy. I think, it's like, so I said to her, I'll tell you what, I'll do a deal for you. If you keep dancing to it, I'll put it on for you. And I put it on, and she danced, and headbanged, 85-year-old grandma to the whole of Ace of Spades. She sat down and she didn't dance to any other song apart from that one. And at the end of the night, the bride came up and said, "You've made my grandma's night. She hasn't stopped talking about you playing the Ace of Spades." And I was like, job done here. Thank you very much. But sometimes, if you make a deal with them, then they're willing to dance. If they're going to be the only person on the dance floor and that's going to be their song, they're making that effort to be on the dance floor, even if nobody else is, and you're going to make their night. It's a give and take thing. So sometimes you just got to, see how it goes and, see the scene. And then obviously after that, I went straight back into what everybody else was dancing. Everybody was, everybody loved it. The fact that grandma was on the dance floor. So, you can work things out.
That reminds me of something that happened to me at a wedding. There was this 75-year-old woman with long gray hair. She was dressed beautifully, and she was sitting off to my left, and she kept looking over, and then she finally got up the nerve to come up and request a song. But when she came up, then I could see the other side of her hair was dyed purple. And she said, "Do you have any poison?" I said, "Yes, I do." I said, "What would you like to hear?" She said, "Talk dirty to me." And I was kind of caught in a situation like with you, Eric. She was so kind, and then what Alex was saying, like maybe I would make this woman's night because she was sitting all alone, for, a good hour and a half. And I put that song on, and she was the only person on the dance floor, and everybody surrounded her, like it was Soul Train or something. And they just clapped along and then they joined in. So yeah, I made somebody's night. So Bill, how would you handle it?
I try to be as diplomatic as I can, and I have a little bit of a canned response when necessary. I'll just say, that's a great idea. I'll see if I can make it work. If I need to, I will never tell somebody, I'm sorry, that's on the don't play list. I'll just, kind of say something like, I've got this long must play list I have to get through first, but if I can work that in, I gladly will. If it's an absolute, floor killer type thing, like everybody else said, you kind of have to feel the situation out. But if it's something that makes you go, wonder what that would do, I'll try to find a way to work it in. I'll look through their list, and if there's a couple songs I can bookend it with and have a good out, to mix out of it quickly if need be, I'll do that too. I want to say something based on a comment in the chat too, if I may.
Sure.
There's a comment in the chat that says a tip jar solves all that. And I'm sorry, but I don't DJ at a bar. When I'm DJing a wedding, I'm DJing a wedding. So there is no tip jar. And I've had people try to give me a tip to get me to play a song. And my response is, I'd much rather get a tip from the bride and groom for doing a great job tonight. And not take their money. But still play the song, because if it is going to get people to dance, great, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's a really interesting topic you brought up about tip jars. I have seen it. I would never put a tip jar out at a wedding. Is anybody else? No, I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Okay, final question. If you had to, and you only had 500 songs, let's say something happened and you're down to your phone and you got 500 songs on there, could you do the wedding? Eric?
100%. Now I'm going to date myself and I'm going to go back with Bill. Did you mention the Platinum Series or did you mention the Top Hits?
Platinum Series, but I had
one.
I mean, man, those right there. And it's so funny because I'm trying to think, they came out, what, mid-90s or something?
Yeah.
Aside from maybe 20 other songs like I Got a Feeling and Uptown Funk, you know what I mean?
Right.
Still do 90% of the music still comes from those series. So yeah, you give me the platinum hits or whatever, and I'm going to make a pretty easy night out of it. Yep.
John, could you do it?
Of course. With today's technology and so much easily available, you power through it, and as you say, you just hit the bangers and get through it and try to make the most of a bad situation.
Alex, I know you can do it.
Of course, like everybody else has said, the majority of music you play these days is not in the last from the last 10 years or maybe even from the last 15. It's pretty much up until 2000. So yeah, the classics are easy and everybody knows it. So it's an easy job.
And Bill, I know you can do it because you've got that Platinum Series, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's the golden ticket. I mean, even if I didn't have that, kind of like Alex said, most of what you're going to play is older music anyway. Yeah, the idea that a wedding is going to be, like an hour straight of deep house club hits is just that's 1 out of 100 weddings, if that.
Right.
And so you're going to be playing, everything from, at this point, Motown to 2000s easily, maybe even up to 2010, is considered in some people's minds an oldie, and that really scares the crap out of me.
Well, weddings are an animal where, most of that stuff is coming. It has to be, in my own opinion, it has to be recognizable to everybody in the room, right?
Yes.
That's how I feel. That's my take on a wedding.
Yes, that broad appeal, and they're expecting to hear certain things. We hear it all the time, but for a lot of people, they haven't been to a wedding in years and years, and it's like, man, I hope they play the Cuban shuffle.
I think with weddings, your music is, MOR, it's middle of the road, but occasionally, you can swerve to the left, you can swerve to the right, depending on the music, you can get a little bit heavier rock or a little bit more dancier house music from, I've Got a Feeling or something like that, or Calvin Harris, David Guetta, you can go a little bit heavy if you want to, but you keep to that. And that's, it's a bit like doing a radio station. People listen to the radio station because they know what kind of music they're going to get. You know, if you're a commercial station, you tend to keep to your top 40s or, you know, a particular, you know, the lightheartedness, unless it's a niche radio station where it just plays this kind of music or that kind of music. So, you know, people expect that kind of middle. They don't want the remix necessarily of Sweet Caroline. They want the original version, not the danced up 2000 remix version, unless that scenario feels fit for it.
Alrighty. Well, I want to thank each and every one of you, Eric, John, Alex, and Bill. I really appreciate you guys coming on tonight. Anybody out there, after we end the show, you can open up and ask questions. And anybody viewing this afterwards, if you have a suggestion for a topic that you would like us to cover, feel free to let us know and we'll take care of it. Thank you all for joining in the chill room here, hanging out with Howie.
Thanks, Howie.
Good night.
Cool. Thank you, Howie.
Good night, guys.
Night.